Hello, everyone. Welcome to Tuesday Night Live with independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator Teresa Harper. I'm located in Oregon in the United States, and I'm hoping that everybody has had a good week. Last week I wasn't actually live because I was at volleyball games. Let's go ahead and see if I can get this up. I hope you enjoyed the videos that I posted. And I'm hoping that this video is good tonight because I'm going to be honest with you, I don't feel very good. So forgive me ahead of time if I have to stop and cough. I've taken cough medicine and I've used an inhaler, and I'm having tea with lemon, and hopefully that will take care of my throat at least for the next hour so we can get this going. I'm going to wait just another minute. I got on a little bit early. Hello, Cynthia. So we'll wait for everybody to get on because I did jump on a little bit early. New camera, and I think I got it figured out so it's not super wide. I tried to use this one in the past and it didn't work. So I'm going to hope that it works today. I'm going to try moving this over just a titch. I don't want to do too much because I don't want it to mess up. Okay, so I think I need to move this back. There we go. There we go. Okay, that's good enough. Good enough at this point. Okay, hello, Tracy. Okay, so it's not been a great day for coughing, so bear with me. I'm going to try to get through this. Like I say, I've got my hot tea with honey. I've got some water. I've done everything ahead of time I can do to hopefully hold this off. And we're going to go ahead and jump in and get going. We're using the Snowy Wonder bundle, and actually we're using the suite today. So we've got the Snowy Scenes Designer Series paper, 12 by 12 double-sided designs. You get six double-sided designs, two of each. Okay, so that's the paper that we're going to be using. And let's go ahead. I've got a 3D project. We're going to jump right in and get that going. And I did do some of the work ahead of time because I need not to do as much talking and stuff to try and get through this. So let's grab our supplies and let's get started. So in addition to the Snowy Wonder bundle, I'm going to use the Naughty and Nice stamp set. This is an online exclusive. And specifically, we're using this one stamp right here, and this is all we're using from this stamp. So if you had something else that's similar in your stash, you should definitely use it. And then out of the Christmas Friends dies specifically, I'm using this little bow tie. But of course, you could skip that whole thing or find a bow tie in another set that you already own. And let's go ahead and get our stamping done. So we're going to just pull out some scraps here. We don't have a lot of stamping. So let's grab our Memento Tuxedo Black. And we're going to ink up our little penguin. I kind of over inked him. Let's try that again. Oh, no, I didn't ink him enough. Wouldn't you know? Okay, there we go. And then we're going to switch to Garden Green. Okay, so we've got Garden Green. And for the Garden Green, we're going to go ahead and ink up the tallest tree in that set. And then I'm going to grab a chamois. And right here at the tree trunk at the bottom, I'm just going to take that ink off of there. Now, do you have to do that? No, you sure don't. Could you use a blender pen, a baby wipe, something else? Absolutely. So I'm going to take my early espresso Stampin' Up marker. These are water-based, not alcohol. These are not the blends. And I'm just going to ink up that tree trunk in the early espresso. And then I'm going to give it a huff and put that down. And there we go. And then we're going to take the Poppy Parade and we're going to ink up our gift wrapped in love. We're going to put that right down over here. And that is all of our stamping on this project. Okay, so there are dies for the penguin and the tree. So you just need to take and cut those out with the coordinating dies. Okay, and through the magic of television, I've already got that done. And then we're going to take a 3/4 inch punch for the wrapped with love, and you can get one of these on Amazon or at your local craft store probably. This just happens to be a retired Stampin' Up one, so that cuts that out perfectly. And let's go ahead and set that aside. And then we've got our penguin and our tree. And then we also need to cut from white glimmer paper out of that Christmas Friends. We need to cut a white bow tie. And I've done that ahead of time. And then I took the dark Poppy Parade marker, the bullet tip, and I colored that bow tie. So those are our pieces. And let's go ahead and make our box. So our box for this, here's our template. We have a piece of Poppy Parade, and this piece of Poppy Parade is 5.5 inches by 6.25. And we're going to put this on the 5.5 inch side, and we're going to score this at 1.25 inches, and then flip it 180 degrees and score it at 1.25 inches on the other end. That way we have 1.25 inches here and 1.25 inches here. And then we're going to rotate this, and on the 6.25 inch side, we're going to score this at 1.25, 2 3/4, 4 inches, and 5.5 inches. Okay. Give me one moment. I need to get a drink of tea. I feel that scratchiness coming. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and burnish on all of our score lines. This is one of those, you can use it as a tuck tab box, but we're not actually going to tuck the tab on this one because I liked how it looked. So we've got those. Now, let's go ahead and bring back in our template. And this is our front flap. So this little section right here is this piece right here. All right, so I need to cut off this rectangle and this rectangle. So I'm going to grab my paper snips and I'm going to cut straight up on the larger rectangle and then straight up on the larger rectangle here. And I'm going to repeat that on the other side. So straight up on the larger rectangle, straight up on the larger rectangle. That way we have removed the score lines and left nice straight lines. Okay, so this is actually the top of our box here. So this is the front flap. This is the top of our box. Okay, let me turn this around for you. So this is the front flap, top of the box. And then these are going to be our side tabs. So we're going to cut straight up on the larger rectangle here. And the same thing on this one. Okay, and the same thing on this one right here on the larger rectangle. Okay, and then we're going to repeat that on the opposite side. So straight up on the large rectangle, straight up on both sides of this large rectangle. These smaller in betweens are going to be our tabs, our glue tabs. Okay, but now because these are the size they are, these are going to get in the way and they're going to be bulky if we don't trim them. So I'm going to take these larger sections, these two larger sections here and here. I'm going to fold those in and I'm going to bring back my trimmer. Okay, so with those larger sections, I'm going to stick this about halfway between, this is a 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch, this is 3/4 inch. I'm going to stick it about halfway between. This does not have to be exact. And I'm going to cut those off. Now you can hand trim those if you like. I prefer to do it this way. Again, 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch, 3/4 inch, halfway between the 3/4 and the 1/2. I'm going to cut those. And then I know they will not overlap. Okay? Now, let's go ahead and put this out of the way. That's just the fastest and easiest way for me to cut that. While I have these already folded in, I'm going to take this little tuck tab section, and you can use any corner rounder that you have and round those corners on those two sides. Okay, so we've got that done. All right, now we need to trim our glue tabs. So I'm going to push those larger sections out. And I'm just going to angle cut on both sides of those glue tabs. I'm going to do that with all 4 of these smaller pieces right here. Just angle cut on both sides. All right, so we've got those now. That's ready to go. And our glue tabs are all ready. Okay, now let's go ahead and we're going to put tear and tape on those glue tabs. And I'm going to do that on the outside of the box because we're going to fold those to the inside. Okay, so I'm just pushing those larger sections out of the way. You can do it however you like. I'm going to put my tear and tape up here right next to the score line so that I have a nice tight score. I'll have a nice tight corner, that's what I mean. When I glue that together, there will be no gaping. Okay. It's just the way I like to do my boxes because I don't like them to look like they're falling apart. So I just put my tape right up there next to the score line, but not on or over. I'm putting the second piece of score tape here, tear and tape, just ensures that my tabs will stay flush against the sides of the box and they won't get in the way of the contents. Okay, so we've got those. Now let's go ahead. I'm just going to take and burnish those with my scoring tool. Okay, and then I'm going to take my take your pick tool And I'm going to remove the backing on all 4 of those tabs. Okay. And no, I'm not throwing that tape on the floor. I have a garbage can right down below me. I don't like to have to pick these little wax paper things up. Okay, so if you have a little bit of extra, just fold it back on itself. Okay, so now we're going to start with, this is the back of the box. I'm going to fold the back of the box to the side. Cut line to score line. Form a nice tight corner. I'm going to get this off of there. Snip that a little bit. And then again, cut line to score line. All the way around on these 4 little tabs. Oh shoot. I forgot to put my designer series paper on. It's easier to do when the box is flat, but I'll be honest with you, the one that I created earlier today, I did afterward too, so that's okay. Now, these tabs, the way they are, they need to tuck into the box. And as you can see, they're way too big to fit down inside that box. So I'm just going to take and I'm going to trim about 1/4 of an inch off of each side. And you could do this with your Stampin' trimmer at the same time you're doing the other trimming. But I'm doing mine this way. And then I'm going to take, and this is the front, so I'm going to angle cut toward that tab there. And I'm going to do that on both sides. Okay, so angle cut toward that top. Okay, then I'm going to go back and I'm going to angle cut the opposite way on the other side of the tab, and not quite as deep, because I don't need the back to be quite as deep as the front. Okay, now when I put this down, that you can see that that folds into that box quite nicely. Okay, and if you cut that too deep here, then this top will pop back up. But it's okay, because we're going to put some Velcro there and it won't really matter. Okay, so let's go ahead and put our designer series paper on now, because I forgot to do it when it was flat. You're going to need, this is a piece of the Snowy Scenes designer series paper. You need one piece that is 1 3/8 by 2 7/8, and we're going to put that right on the top here. So let's go ahead and do that. Now, if I were gluing this flat, I would probably use Stampin' Seal, but because I'm not, I'm going to use the liquid glue so that I have a minute to move it around. Okay, so again, this is 1 3/8 by 2 7/8. And then I'm going to put, I've got 2 pieces, one for the front and one for the back, that are 1 1/8 by 2 7/8. And I'm going to kind of look at this pattern and see if maybe I can sort of line that up. It doesn't have to be perfect. Nobody's going to notice, really. But I'm going to get it as close as I can. Excuse me, I have to cough. Put this one down here. Whoops, and that slid. That is kind of the beauty of the glue, but sometimes it can be a problem for you. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and close that up and flip it to the back. And I'm going to take that other piece of 1 1/8 by 2 7/8. And again, I'm going to look at that pattern. This one looks like it's going to line up pretty closely. Now, to cut these pieces, I took a 1 3/8 inch piece off of my designer series paper, and then I cut my pieces down from there. Okay, so we've got those. Now for our end pieces, we have 1 1/8 by 1 3/8. And let's see, let's go this way. Yeah, this one didn't quite work out like my last one, but it's okay. Okay, so we've got that, and then we'll add this piece over here. Again, 1 1/8 by 1 3/8. Okay, so we've got that on, and now I'm going to take and add my treats. I designed this box to fit 2 of the Ferrero Rocher chocolates perfectly. And I'm going to put those in there. And then I'm going to grab a Velcro dot. And I'm just going to, I get these at, you can either get them at Joann's or off of Amazon. Either way, I've done both. And they're the 3/8 inch thin fasteners. That's what they're called, and this is what the package looks like right here. Thin, clear fasteners, 3/8 inch. Okay. And I'm going to take, and I like to put the clear side on the side that everyone's going to really see. So in this case, I'm peeling off the white. And then I'm going to put this to the inside of my flap in about the center. Again, doesn't have to be perfect. And then I'm going to peel the backing off of the clear one because I have 2 pieces stuck together. They come apart and I stick them together. Now I'm going to push that down, and then I'm going to give that a good little press. Not too hard because it will collapse your box if you get too crazy. And then I'm going to reach my finger in there and hold on to that. And then I'm going to give this a good press. It's easier to press on that box if you have your treats in it. That's why I put them in to begin with. Now we'll go ahead and we'll put those back. Okay, I'm going to tuck that in and close that up. And now we just need to decorate and we're finished. Cute little box. Okay, so we're going to pull in a piece of petal pink cardstock, and I've punched this with the Labeled with Love punch here. Okay. And I'm going to take some mini dimensionals, and I'm going to pop these on the very bottom here. Now you could use the large dimensionals and maybe cut them in half. I want to leave the center empty so that I can run a piece of ribbon through there. So I could probably have gotten away with the large ones, but these ones work well for me. So you can use whatever you prefer. I'm going to give these a little, I'm going to take this off, all these little backings. And then I'm just going to center this side to side and top to bottom as best I can. Okay. Now I've got a piece of the iridescent striped trim, and I took this and I cut it, actually it's this side, I cut it right along that third iridescent stripe all the way down. This is about 16 inches. I got two pieces of ribbon out of that. So I'm just going to take and slide this through there. And then I'm going to bring this over and I'm going to tie this up. It's not cooperating here. I want it in the center. See if I can get it to stay there. Try and make sure that your ribbon doesn't twist on you. And then we're just going to tie us a little bow over here. Okay. So I'm going to take this and make a loop. I might have to grab my reverse tweezers. Okay, nope. It's going to cooperate tonight. Yay! I love it when it cooperates. Okay, you probably don't need a full 16 inches, but I just wanted to be sure I had it right. It's hard to tie bows on camera. So here we are. Try and get those even. Give that a little trim and a little trim. Okay, so now we've got that. Let's take our tree. And again, we're going to take some mini dimensionals. And I'm going to put a mini dimensional at just down from the tip of the tree, because the tip of the tree is going to sit over. And then you could just put a large dimensional here, but because I have the minis out, I'm just going to use those. Okay. And then I'm going to put my tree right here. And hopefully I'm straddling that ribbon. Okay, so I've got my tree on. And now I'm going to take my little penguin, which I forgot to color. Let me grab my light peach pie blend. And I'm just going to put just a little bit of color on his beak and his feet. Not much to the coloring tonight. And then again, I need to pull this over. I need to slide that. It needs to slide. Come on. There we go. Come on. Come on. Come on. I need this to come over. There we go. Just a tiny bit. Okay, and I've got a fray here. We'll just trim that off. Get our penguin. And this is going to go here. Actually, I'm going to move this tree over a bit. I got it a little bit too far to the right. Okay, so if you give it a twist, it should come off without too much issues, as long as you haven't pressed it down solid. And then we're going to put some dimensionals on our penguin, a couple at the top and a couple at the bottom. And again, you could use the bigger ones, but because I have the minis out, that's what I'm using. Okay, so I've got that. And we're just going to put our little penguin in here, just like so. Turn that bow so that it's a little bit more at a slant. Oh, and then we need to take a little tiny bit of glue. This was Caitlin's addition. She said, he needs a bow. So here we go. Here's the bow tie. Just a little bit of liquid glue on there. Then we're going to take our Wrapped with Love. I'm going to take a couple of glue dots and put those in the center. Okay. And then I'm going to pop that over the middle of that bow. Okay. So, and I did not add any embellishments. You could if you wanted, but I kind of liked it just as it was. I didn't really feel like there was enough room to add anything else or that it needed anything else. So there is our Ferrero Rocher little treat box. Be careful when you open it that you don't mess up the tip of your tree. Okay, so there we are. Project number 1 for tonight. I hope you like that. Thanks, Tracy. I'm glad you like it. Okay, let's go ahead and move this out of the way and these out of the way, and let's get started on our next project. Let me grab a drink of tea. Lemon tea with honey. I was hoping that would coat my throat. Okay, and for our next project, we've got a card, and I stuck pretty true to the Snowy Wonder bundle for this card. We've got a petal pink card base, and this is a standard A2 5.5 by 8.5 and scored in the center at 4 1/4. So we're going to fold and burnish on that score line. Okay. Then we've got a piece of the Snowy Wonder Designer Series paper. And Snowy Scenes is 4 by 5 1/4. And we're just going to add this to our card front. Let me get to my silicone mat here. We're going to add this to the card front. Okay, let's put my card up here where I can actually see what I'm doing to make sure I'm not messing this up. Okay. Of course, if we mess it up, it'll just be a whole new card, right? Because you can't really mess it up. Mistakes are an opportunity to embellish. Okay, so we've got that. Now we're going to add to that a piece of the oh my gosh, my brain went blank. It's the Graceful Greenery Vellum. You get 2 sheets each of 3 designs. So you've got this one, 2 of this, 2 of this, and then 2 of these white pieces. And we're using the white. So at the white, I've cut at 3 3/4 by 5. And we're not going to be able to put this down yet. So let's set this aside because we need our scenes to get that all together. Okay, so let's get some stamping done. I did die cut already a piece of the basic white, and this is the large snow globe from the die set. Okay, so it's this one right here. I cut that in basic white. And then I also cut out of the Country Woods Designer Series paper. I cut this base piece for my snow globe base. And so we're going to put those down there. And then we can set those two pieces aside. Well, actually, we need to work on this piece. So we're going to take some Petal Pink ink and a blending brush. So I'm just going to put a little bit of Petal Pink down here on my glass mat. Then I'm going to take a small blending brush and I'm going to pick up that ink. And then I'm going to add that to my snow globe. And I just want a blush in the background. I don't want a whole bunch of color, just a blush. And a little bit more in the center than the outsides, okay? So that is good. Now we're going to take the little snowflakes from the Snowy Wonder Bundle, and I'm going to take just the smallest snowflake. And I'm going to grab a piece of scrap paper here. And I don't know where I set my piece that I had here. Of course not, because, you know, that would be too convenient. Oh, there it is. I see it. I can get to it faster. Here it is. I could just stamp off right there on my glass mat, but then I have to clean it. So I'm going to stamp off and stamp on. Second generation is what this is called. And I'm just going to stamp on my scrap paper each time and then onto my piece. Okay. And I think that should probably be good for what we need. Because our scene's going to go right there in the center. And then I put a little bit of snow at the bottom here. So, yep, I need this little snowy piece right here I forgot to pull out. And we're going to grab that and put it on a block. And hopefully, well, you know what? I'm going to have to remove something from a small block. I have a lot of stamps out at the moment. So we're just going to do this. And again, we're going to get that scrap piece of paper. And I'm going to ink up those dots. And I'm just going to add these to the bottom. Turning my stamp as I go, so they're not all uniform. Just so it looks like I have a little snowbank at the bottom. There we go. Okay. So that is, this piece is now finished. We can set this aside. And then we're going to bring in a stamp positioning tool. And I'm going to do up my sentiment here. So we're going to emboss this. I'm going to grab my embossing buddy from my Embossing Editions toolkit and give that a rub. Okay, and then we need some Pool Party ink. Let's see what tub I set that in. Okay, yeah, I'm not going to need, well, yes, I do need that one. Okay, so we've got the Pool Party, and my Pool Party's pretty inky. So I'm going to take a spoon and I'm just going to press that ink into the pad. Okay. And then I'm going to give this a quick wipe on my chamois. And then I'm going to take I've got the Let It Snow here. I'm just going to set this down on here. pick up that stamp, and then we're going to ink that up. Make sure that's solid in the corner. Get that out of my way. Then I'm going to ink it up a second time because I want a nice, good inking, solid. All right, so we've got that. Now, I'm going to clean this off. Grab my chamois. I'm going to give that a gentle wipe. So I want to make sure I do not move my stamp. And give that a pat dry with my hand. Excuse me. Now I'm going to take Versamark. I'm going to ink that Let It Snow up with the Versamark. Make sure that's solid in the corner. Give that a solid rub. Okay. Now let's bring in our embossing ink or our embossing powder. And let's pour that on. This is clear. It's the Wow Clear Embossing Powder. Comes in the basics kit. Okay. I like to use a coffee filter in my tray just because it's faster for me to clean up that way. And then we're going to take our reverse tweezers. Hold on to that. Heat up our heat tool for just a second. And then we're going to turn that powder into a clear, shiny coating. Okay, and now we've embossed that, and it looks like our embossing powder was Pool Party. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and clean this stamp really quickly because I don't like that Versamark is a pretty sticky ink. So before I set that aside, I want that to be kind of unsticky. All right, so we have this piece. Now let's go ahead and stamp the rest of our pieces. So we're going to stamp the house for this one in Early Espresso. Okay, and we need 2 trees. What did I do with that other tree? I need it back from the last one. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and get my garden green again. Oh, my goodness. And we're going to ink this up again in the garden green. And again, I'm going to wipe that off. Ooh, that garden green looks a little bit too goopy. I'm going to go ahead and clean that. And then I'm going to give that a press in. That was bubbly on my stamp. And anytime you see bubbles on your stamps, it's a good idea to press the ink inside. Okay, that'll be a much better image. And again, I'm going to clean just that stem off, or the trunk. Figure out what I did with that early espresso marker. Of course, it's right in front of my face because that's the way things work, right? Okay, so we've got that. Let's go ahead and ink that up or set that down. Okay, and then we need one more tree, and we're going to take this one. This is also from the Snowy Wonder Bundle. I'm going to stamp that down in the garden green. And then we need some Pool Party Mountains. I've done some in Smoky Slate, so I'm going to let you guys decide what you think. Okay, so I need one large and two small mountains. Okay, so that is our stamping. And we can set these all aside. And then we would cut these all out with the coordinating dies, okay? And we need to do just a little bit of coloring. So we're going to take a little bit of light lemon lolly and fill in our windows here so they look like they have a nice warm light. Okay, that's the light lemon lolly. And then for the door, I'm going to use a dark old olive. I'm going to try to avoid that doorknob. Okay. And then I'm going to go over that with a dark granny apple green. And that's going to give me sort of the look of garden green as those two colors blend together. Okay. So there we go. And then we have a pecan pie marker, and I'm going to take the brush tip on this, and I'm going to very carefully fill in the tree trunk here. On my little tree. Now, does this need to be absolutely perfect? No, it's a handmade card. Okay, so there we go. Then we'll take all of these to the die cutting machine and we'll cut them out with the coordinating dies that are included in the Snowy Wonder Bundle. So we can cut all of these items out easily. And here they are. Do the magic of television. Cut, ready to go. So I actually cut two sets of mountains. I cut some in gray and some in Pool Party, so we can decide which ones we like the best, okay? And then we're going to hand cut the Let It Snow, and I want to show you how I do this. So I'm just going to get rid of the excess here. And then I'm going to start over here. I'm going to go around. You could draw your line with a pencil. I'm going to freehand it and hope it works out quite nicely. Okay, just kind of following the bumps with my scissors, and not every bump. You decide how you want it to look. Okay, I am quite happy with that one. So there we go. Now we're ready to start putting this card together. Okay, we have all of our pieces. So let's bring back in that card base and those pieces. So we're going to put this down, and this is going to go right over the top here. But before I put that actually down, I want to start building my scene. Okay, so we're going to start with our house. Put it about right here, just a little tiny bit off just the center. And then I'm going to add my tree over here. Okay. And then here's where you need to decide. Are we going to put in pool party? Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you. I did my original card in pool party. So let's put down the gray. Okay. Put down the smoky slate. And then I'll show you my original and you can decide whether you think smoky slate or pool party. Okay, so we're going to stick that right in there. And then I'm going to add this tree here, over here like, so I'm going to tuck this in about right there. Okay, so there it is with the smoky slate. Here is the card with the pool party. So pool party mountains, smoky slate. Hello, Jennifer and Laura. Which would you like to see? The smoky slate or the pool party mountains? I like pool party. Okay, Tracy. Okay. Anybody else? I kind of liked the pool party ones myself. So let's go ahead. I'm going to throw these out of here. And I'm going to put this down flat with some Stampin' Seal. Okay. I need to run that on my silicone mat just a second. There we go. And right down here, just off to the center. Okay, let's put our tree down. Now my tree, I'm going to actually put down a little bit of Stampin' Seal. And then I'm going to add a mini glue dot near the top of that tree. More to the right, because I'm going to try and stick that mountain down in there. Oh, I want that to go up a little bit. Okay, so let's go ahead and put that about right there. I'm not pressing anything in solid because I want to be able to move it. Let's grab our mountain. Slide that in here behind. There we go. And then we'll take our bigger mountain. And I'm going to slide this down in here. I need to lift up my house here a bit, just to make that look like so. And then we'll take the smaller mountain. Bring in my silicone mat. It's because I'm not rolling my wrist at the end that I'm having trouble with that. We're going to set that one down right in here like so. Okay. And then we'll add this tree right here so that it kind of covers the bottoms of both of those mountains. So let's just add that on. Let's put a couple of glue dots on that. So I can set that down and it really holds well. Okay. And let's pull this up a bit. move that over so it covers those tree bottoms. Oh, come on, work with me here. Okay, so we've got that, and that looks pretty good. I'm going to give that a good press. And then we're going to take this and put it, I'm going to lay this down on my card base. I'm going to add some Stampin' Seal to my globe. And I'm going to attach that to my vellum. Okay, get that looking like I want it. So let's put this about right here. I'm not going to push that down yet. I need to make sure I've got room for my sentiment. Yep, I do. And this, okay, so now we can go ahead and add our base, our snow globe base, right here. Oops, it's moving. Oh, wait a minute, it's not moving. My vellum is moving. Okay, good. I thought my snow globe was moving there for a minute. And I'm going to put that on there, like so. And then I can flip this over and add my Stampin' Seal where my vellum will not, it will not show through my vellum. I just add the Stampin' Seal along the base of that snow globe. Okay, so this is almost done. We're going to take and add this. I'm going to go ahead and pop this up. So let's, again, I'm going to take my minis because they're right here. Right in front of me. Easy to get to. And they fit my sentiment quite nicely. Let's put this up here like so. And then we've got some ribbon to finish this off. I can find my piece of ribbon that I had. Oh my. Okay, here. This will work right here. This one will work. Okay, so this is the other 2 strands of that iridescent trim that I had. I'm going to take this and I'm going to make a double bow and tie that on my bow jig. And let's give that a good press. Slide those apart. And there we go. And then we'll take a glue dot and we'll add that to our snow globe right here, like so. And then I'll trim up those ends a bit, angle them. Okay, almost there. The last thing that we need to do with this is we need to put on some of our little white loose snowflakes. These are also part of that snowy scene bundle or suite. Let's go ahead. We're going to put a dot here, put a dot here. I'm just using a little bit of liquid glue. And then we'll put another one down here. And we'll take our take your pick tool. I'm going to pick up a snowflake, stick that down. And then grab a little smaller snowflake. These come in 3 sizes. And then we'll grab another snowflake for down here. This is one of the larger ones. And then I like to go back and give those a gentle press. Oh, that did not work. Oop, come on. Okay, I'll just give those a little gentle press. Set that into that glue. And there is the outside of our card. For the inside of our card, I took a piece of that same designer series paper, the Snowy Scenes. I stamped a sentiment from Peaceful Season. Okay, this is from the mini catalog. It has great inside sayings as well as the outside. And then I stamped some of those snowflakes from Snowy Wonder. I stamped off and then stamped on second generation around that saying. And we're just going to add this right here. And then we've got our envelope. And again, I took the snowflakes from the envelope, this time full strength. I put 3 on the front, 3 on the flap, and there is our second project for tonight. So let's go ahead and bring in that box that we made. And so you can see what's inside. Let's go ahead and open this one up because, of course, I have 2. All right, everybody. I hope you enjoyed those projects tonight. So glad my voice held out pretty well. And I hope to see you back here on Thursday night for a YouTube Live. If not, I'll definitely be back next Tuesday, I think. I think next Tuesday. Oh, no, I'll have to check the volleyball schedule. Anyway, I'm so glad you guys liked it. Thank you so much for being here. Have a good week. Good night. Thank you, Tracy.